So it's just come to my attention that this 11-year-old boy is trying to leave Ukraine. I saw it on Reddit. I thought I might as well make a video on this, try and raise awareness on these issues to different people. So the 11-year-old boy, they literally wrote, like, with a pen or whatever, they wrote the phone number of the relatives. So he was, basically, we'll give you guys a little backstory. So on the 24th of February, Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation declared war, not declared war, but they declared a special operation in Ukraine, which is nothing more than a war, but it's a special operation. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to get to, but so they declared a special operation and they attacked Ukraine. And then obviously with warfare, there's always going to be a multitude of consequences. One of those consequences, a byproduct of that, is that there's going to be refugees. There is going to be a lot of refugees flooding into these Western countries and Europe. So the 11-year-old boy, his parents, we don't know if he's dead. We don't know if the parents are dead. We don't know if the parents are alive. We don't know what the hell they're doing. We don't know where the mom is. We don't know where the dad. All we know is that there's utter chaos over there in Ukraine. People are dying. People are getting bombed to bits. People are getting shot up. It's getting a little bit hazy right now, and civilians are getting like attacked, and I find that despicable. But I also do think that the Ukrainians are using them as human shields, and they're not allowing them to leave the population centers because they're saying, oh, you need to fight, and they're conscripting the males into the army. They're not allowing the males to leave. I think most so the refugee crisis is going to be that kind of viewpoint. I think that kind of viewpoint that the Ukrainians are following or are adapting to is exacerbating the situation, making the situation a lot worse than it already is. Because when you're conscripting civilians into military service, there's going to be a bunch of deserters. There's going to be a bunch of people that don't want to fight, that don't want to lose their lives because they don't know how to fight. They're civilians. They don't really know anything about that shit. So, it's interesting to see how this is going to play out. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to play out. But 11-year-old kid, man, he's in trouble, man. We need to help him. Now let's look at the Facebook link right here. Apparently, he's reunited with his family. I can't read what this says. It's in Polish, so who knows what it says. Dalashia Sanam Slishi Toochi. Totohia. I don't know what they're saying. Slovakia. It's in Slovakian or something? Slovenia? Oh, he went to Slovenia. Yes, exactly. So he went to Slovenia because he has relatives there. They put the phone number of the relatives in Slovenia on his hand, and he found his relatives. He's reunited with his family, which is a great thing. But I think it's tragic that he's having to lose his entire family and lose his way of life. It's interesting how everybody's looking at this situation, though. They have so much more empathy for Ukrainians than Syrians and Yemeni refugees, but the Ukrainians are like they're considered more important because they're white, they're European, they're more cultured. I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, people are going to support them because they look like them. They're not going to support the Syrian refugees. Yeah, that's too much work. That's too much work. So it's a double standard, but it's a double standard that people support openly, and they tell you to your face that they support it openly, and they'll tell you these people are real refugees, those Syrians are not. Even though they're coming from war, and they're coming from war. Both of them are both of them are legitimate refugees, but they don't really care, man. It is what it is. Let me pay for the first group of Ukrainians. I'll pledge a paycheck for that one. Whoa. 5 on it. Yeah, these Redditors are just weird, man. Like, they have such an extreme outlook on how things are playing out. They're obviously just going to follow whatever the mainstream media is telling them. Most people are just going to ignore the reality on the ground. You think people like truth? Do you think people like truth? Do you think people actually like to hear truth and hear what's going on down on the ground? They don't give a fuck about the truth, man. They don't care about the truth. Apparently, His relatives in Slovakia later came for him after getting a call from the police. The kid in the story doesn't look like he's 11 years old. He looks 78, lagging behind family. News say they walk for miles and hours just to get to the border. But think about that for a second, though. Think about how scared the child is, like moving from one point A to point B, just following the road. And you know how dangerous that is? The dude could get kidnapped. He could get blown. He could get his head blown off. He could get attacked. And he's a little kid. There's dangerous people out there, like pedophiles, that could attack him. God knows what they would do to this motherfucker, but very dangerous. And I think it's a little bit reckless, in my opinion, to just let a child go through interstate national borders without your family. No one was there with him. He went alone. Sorry, my throat. He went alone. He had no support, nothing. The only reason he made it was because what was it say? It says the what do you call it? This organization helped him or something. This is the best fundraising pitch I've seen in my life. Up there, I pitched this to my wife, and she pointed out that there could be quite a lot of piss to deal with. So if this plan moves forward, please make sure the gravesite has proper plumbing. Oh, they're talking about Putin. People are saying we should piss on Putin's grave. He's an asshole. He's a piece of shit. He's a dictator. But nobody said anything like this when the U.S. attacked Afghanistan and Iran and Iraq. Nobody said that. Nobody said anything when they destroyed and killed millions of people in Iraq or Afghanistan. No one said anything when they destabilized the whole region and created a terrorist organization because of the power vacuum that they left behind once they ousted the dictator. Once you oust a dictator, you're going to leave a power vacuum in the country, which means it's going to be complete chaos. And that's what happened. So to see these Americans morally grandstanding and, oh, this is terrible, we would never do anything like this, like, it's just disgusting and just despicable to see, to be honest, because these people they have no moral ground to stand on. They have no moral ground to stand on, bro. Nothing, zero. Because they've killed innocent civilians, they've bombed apartment buildings, blown fucking the entire infrastructure to smithereens, killed thousands and thousands and millions of people, and no one cares about that. No one gives a fuck about that. The only thing that they care about is Ukraine. I get it. Ukraine matters. Ukraine is important, but at the same time, like, come on, let's not have any favorites here. Let's try and look at all things equally and fair, which is never gonna happen. I said that before. It's unrealistic to expect everything to be fair and equal. It's never gonna happen. It's unrealistic. You're pissing in the wind if you try and make things fair and balanced. No, not equality of outcome, but equality of opportunity. Give them the opportunity. That's what means to be fair and balanced, to give an objective review based on the merits of how they are acting, based on the character. But no, they don't do that, man. They don't do that. Power of perception is real. Go read 50 Cent's book. But anyways, guys, man, I'm out of here, man.